Tonight on NAIT NewsWatch.
We take a look at how the international student cap is affecting post-secondaries.
If that number declines rapidly, then they will have a financial problem.
And cloned meat might be taking over a grocery store near you.
Do you believe that cloning is a good thing, or do you dislike the idea of cloning an animal?
And Edmonton celebrates Métis Week, honoring leader Louis Riel.
This week is a time to reflect on that and to share our culture and our history.
NewsWatch starts now.
Good evening and welcome to NAIT NewsWatch.
We are now back to our regular scheduled programming for NewsWatch, bringing you the latest in Edmonton and NAIT News every week of the semester.
Like a lot of campuses around Canada, international students are a big part of NAIT.
Our Dylan Weiner has more on the cap of international students and how that could affect NAIT.
Thanks, guys. NAIT held an event for this past week called Destination, where international students were able to show off their pride for their home countries. NAIT's student body currently sits around 20% of international students, but NAIT does expect that to drop by over 50% in the next couple years. Post-secondaries around Canada are really getting hit hard as the Canadian government intends to reduce international student study permits by almost 50%, from 306,000 to 155,000.
Canada is pretty diverse, and it's a new learning experience for me. I've been able to grow as an individual. We also, as Nigerian students, we started our own community, just to give people that are coming in this soft landing, and also the sense of belonging for Nigerian students.
Post-secondaries around Canada are really getting hit hard as the Canadian government intends to reduce international student study permits by almost 50%, from 306,000 to 155,000.
Changes the complexion of your campus, and I think that we've come to know NAIT as a very diverse place, and I think it would be a shame to see a decline in that international enrollment.
NAIT isn't the only post-secondary in Alberta who could be facing some financial challenges when it comes to the cut to international students. Bow Valley College, Maple Leaf Academy, and Lethbridge Polytechnic have all closed some of their language-based courses due to the lack of international students. NAIT says it's always advocating for the international students at the highest level of government to ensure the immigration policies reflect the needs of the community of Edmonton and Alberta. International students pay 4 to 5 times more in tuition and other fees compared to the average domestic student living in Canada. This could cause some issues in the future for NAIT when the permits eventually do get cut down over these next couple years.
At the end of the day, we are having less students. That means we're going to have less engagement for our students and less people to do the community with.
NAIT has already put a pause on 18 different programs, and with the upcoming decline in international students, we could see more programs put on pause, suspended, or even terminated. Over the last couple of years, NAIT has seen an increase in international tuition from $20 million to $80 million.
Thanks, Dylan. Is there anywhere international students can go to learn about future careers in Canada?
Yes, Josh. The International Center is holding a panel where 3 international grads will be coming back to speak to international students in the Cat Dow Theatre on November 26th from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Will NAIT start to see a decline in international students being accepted into those programs?
Well, Maddie, the federal cap doesn't just affect NAIT, but NAIT could see some programs affected with the decline.
Thanks, Dylan. That's Dylan live from the hallways of NAIT.
You're watching NAIT NewsWatch, the next generation of news.
The meat in your sandwiches, burgers, and general meat products might not be what it seems. Recent regulations have allowed cloned animal meat to be sold by their manufacturers. Health Canada has allowed for new regulations in regards to cloned meat. Cloned meat is created in a lab through assistive reproductive procedures. New regulations don't require beef and pork sellers to label if their meat came from a cloned animal or not. Some are questioning the ethics, though some believe it's a thing.
I think this is a positive. What we're talking about here is not the everyday cattle that's going to be cloned, right? We're not going to have just random animals in a field that are clones of one another. What we're talking about here is the really, really high-end animals, the Wagyu beef, the the Black Angus that has the large muscling.
These changes in regulations will come into effect very soon, and with them, Canadians won't know whether they will be eating cloned animal meat or not.
This week is being recognized as Bullying Awareness Week. It's giving students the opportunity to help prevent any bullying that might be in their schools, workplaces, or even the community in general.
I feel like I'm in this box and I can't get out. I tried to laugh it off.
The Minister of Children and Family Services, Sorrel Turton, has recognized this week as Bullying Awareness Week. He wants Albertans to understand and stop any bullying that might be in their schools, workplaces, or even in general communities. Many around NAIT are keeping up with these same values, ensuring this school remains free from bullying even on Bullying Awareness Week.
When we're having these feedback sessions with our students, the most of the things that I ask them is that, how's your experience in NAIT? I've never, to be honest, in my interactions, I've never heard them saying that, oh, I got bullied.
If you or any of your peers are being bullied or are facing harassment, you can visit the NAIT Counseling Center and speak to one of their skilled professionals. NAIT remains dedicated to keeping bullying off their campus, even when it's not Bullying Awareness Week.
Métis Week is deeply cherished by the Métis community. This week honors the many achievements of Métis ancestors and themselves, inspiring people to keep advancing toward the full recognition of Métis rights. The Métis have been known for shaping Edmonton's economic, educational, and cultural development. The City of Edmonton's Métis Week proclamation offered a meaningful chance to honor their heritage and Louis Riel.
Métis Week is very important for Métis citizens to reflect on Louis Riel's work and all of the work of the people that came before us.
Métis Week is continuing on until November 22nd, ending with the 25th annual Delia Gray Gala at the Edmonton Expo Center to celebrate Métis scholars.
A new art piece at NAIT's LRT station blends cultural memory with reconciliation through bronze and symbolism. Just steps away from the NAIT LRT station, a 5-foot bronze egg-shaped sculpture is quietly reshaping how we see public space. Created by Indigenous artist Bruno Canadine, the touchstone monument connects the land, the people, and the history that once flowed through Blatchford Airfield.
The NAIT LRT station was tied to the Percent for Art program. So where 1% of qualifying construction dollars go towards public art, and it was for the renewal and relocation of the NAIT station.
The sculpture was created as a cultural monument to the Métis and Dene people of the North, as well as the Dene living in Edmonton, and it honors the history of Bruno Canadine's family.
Coming up after the break, our Sarah Shadewasser tells us if the weekend will bring any rays of sunshine or some flurries.
And we give the Ooks a mid-season report card.
I'm Tia Thorpe, and coming up in sports, we head to the slopes as ski hills are bound to get ready, and we look at Ooks and how they're doing mid-season. All that and more in sports.
Well, it certainly still feels like sweater weather out here today. Stick around after the break and we'll find out if the uncharacteristically warm weather is going to last throughout the weekend.
Welcome back. Well, Josh, it sure seems to be getting darker earlier lately these days.
Yeah, well, at least we haven't headed into our yearly deep freeze yet.
Oh yeah. Our Sarah Shadewasser has more on this weekend's forecast.
Thanks, guys. Well, the days are definitely getting shorter, and it certainly feels like winter should be closing in this time of year. Well, we've had a couple of snowfalls this month. With temperatures staying above zero, the snow hasn't stuck along very long. Let's find out if Mother Nature is going to keep clinging to fall this weekend or if winter is finally catching up to us. Starting down south in Calgary, we have a high of 6 degrees and a low of 1, and it's going to be partly cloudy, no signs of snow over the weekend. Moving over to the mountain parks in Jasper, we have a high of 2 degrees and a low of -2. No snow on the Saturday, but they're looking at about a 60% chance of snow on Sunday, so keep an eye on Marmot Basin's website. They might be announcing an opening date soon. Moving on up to to Fort McMurray. We have a high of 4 degrees and a low of -2. No precipitation over there, just partly cloudy, which is a theme across the province. Heading on down to our capital city here in Edmonton, we have a high of 4 degrees and a low of -2. No snow, but we're looking at a little bit of sun on Sunday, so it might be warming up a little bit. Heading over to our averages, we have an average of 0 degrees and a low of -9. So we're definitely sitting well above our averages. Definitely a nicer late November weekend than we're used to. And our records, we had 18 degrees in 2005 and -33 in 1886. Thank God it's not the 1800s anymore. Well, there's no need to bust out your parkas this weekend. Expect temperatures to drop going into next week. It seems like this Sunday would be a perfect day to take a walk in the River Valley before it gets too chilly.
NewsWatch weather is brought to you by NR92, the station for the students.
Okay, Josh, the snow seems to be like it's finally here to stay.
Yeah, Maddie, I've been noticing the roads have been getting a little more icy.
For the question of the week, we ask you if you think Alberta should make winter tires mandatory.
Head over to the NAIT Nugget on Instagram for a chance to win a prize. Athletes eager to finally hit the slopes. Local ski hills are struggling to keep snow on the ground.
And we catch up with how our Ooks are doing mid-season. Our Tia Thorpe has more.
Thanks, guys. With weather staying warm and having lower than normal participation, it's good for us but bad for ski businesses. With competitions and lessons approaching quickly, Snow Valley is working hard to get its hills open. Snow Valley is focusing on lower slopes for lessons, giving beginners the chance to feel the snow under their feet, especially if they're too nervous about going too fast. They're also getting the North Hill ready so skiers and snowboarders can train and prepare for mountain conditions.
It's a long process. The colder it is, the more snow you can make in the shorter amount of period. At the end of the day, we need about 9 million gallons of water to make enough snow to cover the hill, and we're at about 2 million right now.
For now, it's a waiting game for the hill, for the crews, and especially for athletes who are itching to get back on the snow. The Ooks are in full swing, and they are off to an exciting start. Here's the latest on our teams. We start with our men's and women's basketball teams, both off to an impressive 7-1 start, with the men's undefeated at home. Hockey has been more of a challenge this season, with the men's team 1-7 struggling on the road, while the women sits at a 7-6.
This has been a great start to the season. It's a very exciting season for NAIT Athletics. We're hosting the Men's Volleyball National Championship this coming up in March. Our fall sports are really doing well. 3 of the 4 qualified for national championships.
The women's volleyball team sits at a high 6-1, with the men sitting at a 4-3. As one of the largest schools in the ACAC, other teams come in eager to beat them. But NAIT has managed that pressure well and will look to keep that success going. Well, guys, I'm excited to see what NAIT Sports brings next semester.
Agreed, Tia. And I'm excited to see how the men's volleyball team does this year during nationals.
Yeah, and it was nice to hear how well our fall sports did this season. Thank you, Tia.
After the break, we take a look at a NAIT grad's latest film.
And our Avery Stenson jumps on the court, picks up a racket, and tries pickleball.
You can very quickly get on the courts and know the basics. And it's really social.
Tonight, we spread some international love as we look into NAIT Heritage Festival 2025. And later on, with all lights shining bright, 124th Street, we head on to the All Is Bright Festival to celebrate the return of winter. So stay tuned with us.
You're watching NAIT NewsWatch, the next generation of news.
You know, Maddie, I've been looking for a new sport to try, but they all seem so difficult to learn.
Well, Josh, luckily for you, our Avery Stenson tried a sport that might just court your interest.
I'm Avery Stenson, and on Try This week, we're going to be attempting North America's fastest growing sport, pickleball.
I'll be honest, outside of a couple gym classes, I've never stepped foot on a pickleball court. But with the growing excitement around the sport, I knew we should give it a try to test our skills.
With pickleball, you can very quickly get on the courts and know the basics. And it's really social. So it is a lot of fun. I find pickleball people, they love to come out early and chat. There's there's a lot more of a social element to it, which is, I think, really important because you both have fun and get good exercise and learn and develop at the same time.
In terms of participation, pickleball is third, just behind running and biking. And even while just warming up, I can see why it attracts so many people. The smaller court and comfortable pace is great for anyone who wants to learn a new sport.
It's amazing how quickly it's blown up. I think it's a little easier on the body than something like tennis. And so while there is a lot of talk about, it's older people playing pickleball, it's actually really picked up a lot with the youngers. And I think the top female pickleball player is less than 20 right now.
Well, Gordon and I definitely have to come back for some more practice. After just 20 minutes, we're able to start having a competitive match with some good rallies. We even got encouragement from more experienced players who gave us helpful tips and made us feel very welcome while trying the new sport.
You know what? First of all, go in and have fun. It's always good to, there's a ton of stuff online that you can take a look at for beginners just on how to get started. And basically get yourself a racket, get some balls, come out and play and give it a try. Once you start, you'll want to keep playing.
Coming to Yegg Pickleball, I assumed like most that pickleball is a sport for older people. But playing it for myself, I'm exhausted. Gordon had me running side to side, back and forth. This sport is for everyone, especially if you want to get into it from a younger age. And I definitely think you should try this.
The NAIT Heritage Festival is back at NAIT, filling up Cat Crossing with delicious foods and dances from around the world.
I want delicious food so bad, Josh. And just a few blocks away, 124th Street is glowing with holiday cheer at the All is Bright Festival. Our Benjamin Wang has more and entertainment.
All aboard NAIT Airlines. If you never wanted to travel but never had the funds to do so, one festival aims to give you a taste of what it truly feels like to be international.
Ice cream! Pili na kayo, ice cream!
NAIT's Heritage Festival 2025 is back this week as part of Destination Global, a vibrant celebration of our diverse community featuring cultural booths and lively performances that builds intercultural competence.
I think it's good. It shows people different aspects of culture, different things we've never seen before, things that we probably should see more, and it just reminds everybody how similar our cultures can be and how when we differ, it's still a beautiful and natural thing.
If you're interested in discovering more about Destination Global, visit uxlife.ca to explore all the exciting details. The true warmth of an Edmonton winter does not just come from heaters, but from the vibrant pulse of our community events, which bring a special energy to our streets. Edmonton's 124th Street is glowing once again for the RS Brand Festival 2025. This beloved street party brings the community together with lines and local shopping, offering a warm welcome to the winter season.
It's a really great way for people to be outside of their homes and enjoy Edmonton through all of its seasons, even in winter, because we are a winter city. It's a nice way for business to open and for people to start the holiday.
As it celebrates its 13th year, more parking spaces are pledged for the future. Vietnamese American teens in the 1980s created the world of music, fashion, and self-expression new wave. A new documentary explores that era and the stories behind it. Our Shang Jiwani has more.
On Monday, NAIT hosted a screening of the documentary New Wave at the Shaw Theatre. The documentary takes us back to the 1980s, where Vietnamese American teens in Orange County, California created their own world of music and style, big hair, punk and goth fashion, and bold attitudes defined by the teen scene.
I just hope that I think people walk away from the movie with more understanding and perhaps a bit more empathy, because you really do not know the stories of the people around you.
The filmmaker Elizabeth I started out just trying to capture the fun, but soon uncovered a more deeper story behind the flashing lights and music.
The documentary plays a lot of found footage and old historical footage, and I think just seeing my family in that setting was really moving for me. I think it's a reminder as well.
Its story isn't just for one community. It's about finding your voice, facing your past, and discovering meaning that speaks to everyone.
I feel like one of the themes, I think, when we expose ourselves to these storylines, we realize, we should already know this, that everyone is just human, right? And we're all just trying to exist, and we're all just trying to survive, and it doesn't, matter the color of our skin.
New Wave is about more than music. It's about family, identity, and resilience, and how finding your voice can inspire people everywhere.
New Wave captured the music, spirit, and deeper stories of a generation exploring identity, loss, and healing while connecting people in the community tonight. With NAIT NewsWatch, I'm Ashan Jawani.
Get ready for an action-packed thriller that will keep you on the edge of your seat.
Stop filming me!
Glenn Powell stars in The Running Man, an action-packed thriller that follows a man who joins a game show controlled by Freeway, the major corporate news network controlling and manipulating the dystopian landscape. The Running Man is now in theaters. Hi, quick question for you guys. Do you know where Glenn Powell is from? And if you do, this awesome cap is up for grabs for one lucky winner.
Well, I do like this cap. Josh, do you have any ideas?
Let's save that question for our audience. If you know the answer, send us a message on Instagram at NAIT NewsWatch. One lucky person with the correct answer will get this awesome cap. Thank you, Ben.
That All Is Bright Festival really put me in the holiday spirit.
Yeah, Maddie, I think I might want to catch the Heritage Festival next year. I think I might learn something new.
Thanks for tuning into this week's episode of NAIT NewsWatch.
Have a good evening, and we will see you next week for a final regular show of the semester. Have a good night, Nate.